The 2022 season could be a breakout year for Austin Ekeler. Ekeler's career in the NFL has been a very uplifting story of just how far hard work and perseverance can take you. As the top 10 positional lists make their rounds heading into the regular season, Ekeler is almost always making the cut and has become widely regarded as one of the best at his position. Despite this, almost no one is talking about Ekeler heading into the season. It could be argued that he is the best dual-threat running back in the league over the past 3 seasons. The only other back in the league in contention with Ekeler for this title is Carolina Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey. When looking at the rest of the Los Angeles Chargers roster, it starts to make sense how, despite the incredible talent that Ekeler possesses and the great things he has achieved on the field, he is still overlooked by the NFL media and most of the NFL fan base. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert has one of the brightest futures in the league. He has proven himself as a perfect leader for the franchise and a generational talent at quarterback. With the Chargers offense being passing dominant, it becomes very easy to be drawn to Herbert when looking at the Chargers rather than Ekeler. Along with this, Los Angeles is heading into the year with one of the best defensive units in the NFL. Over the offseason, they made a couple of big moves to further bulk up their already impressive defense. The first major move that the Chargers made came in the form of a trade. They sent a 2022 second-round pick and a 2023 sixth-round pick for Khalil Mack. The second big move the Chargers made for their defense was to sign cornerback J.C. Jackson. With all of these positive storylines surrounding the Chargers over the offseason, Austin Ekeler being named as a near-consensus top 10 back in the league has been brushed to the side. Despite this, he could go on to be one of the most impactful players for the Chargers this season, along with a top running back in the NFL. His college career. Austin Ekeler's story does not begin with him receiving piles of recruitment letters from Alabama, Clemson, and Ohio State trying to get him to sign with their schools. Instead, he attended Western Colorado University from 2013 to 2016. From the start, making it to the NFL was an uphill battle for Ekeler. However, he put the work in necessary to make his dreams come true. In his senior season at Western Colorado, Ekeler rushed for 1,495 yards and 15 touchdowns. Through the air, he caught 18 receptions for 236 yards and 3 touchdowns. Despite going down as the best football player in the history of Western Colorado and putting together a respectable stat line while with the team, it was not enough for Ekeler to get drafted. Shortly after the draft, Ekeler would become an undrafted free agent, signing with the Los Angeles Chargers. Progression over his NFL career. Once again for Ekeler, things would not be easy once he joined the Chargers. Although he saw the field quicker than most undrafted free agents, he didn't see much playing time throughout his rookie season. He finished his rookie campaign with 47 rushes for 260 yards and 260 touchdowns. He also caught 27 passes for 279 yards and 3 touchdowns. This rookie season was the perfect start to Ekeler's career. He achieved in one season what it takes many undrafted free agents their entire careers to accomplish. Despite this, Ekeler was still hungry for more, and he would continue to have better statistical seasons year after year. Last season was his best to date. In 2021, Ekeler had 206 rushing attempts for 911 yards and 12 touchdowns. He was also a heavy contributor to the passing game, where he finished the season with 70 catches for 647 yards and 8 touchdowns. Austin Ekeler is one of the most versatile running backs that the NFL has to offer. His pass-catching abilities make him the perfect weapon out of the backfield for Justin Herbert. However, Ekeler is also a more than capable back in the running game as well. There are not too many backs in the league that can do what Ekeler does. Although he has officially become known as a top 10 running back in the league, this rating still may be a bit low, and the argument could even be made that he's sneaking his way into a top 5 spot if this season goes well. Why this year could be a breakout season for Austin Ekeler. The 2022 season is shaping up to be an incredible one for both Austin Ekeler and the Los Angeles Chargers. There is a chance that the team goes on a deep playoff run this season, especially with the offseason moves that they made to beef up their defense. With the AFC West looking as competitive as it is shaping up to be, it will be a tough road to get to the playoffs for the Chargers, even with all of the talent that they have on their roster. However, even if they're unable to win their division, they should be able to claim one of the 3 wildcard spots to get into the postseason. As the Chargers establish themselves as one of the top teams in the league, Ekeler will get more of the spotlight, and many may begin to open their eyes to the incredible running back that he has developed into. 2022 could be the first year that Ekeler finally breaks the seal and has his first 1,000-yard rushing season. Last year, he came very close with 911 rushing yards. Along with this, at times he can be the primary receiving options in the Chargers' offense. A prime example of this came in the 2019 season when Ekeler finished the season with almost 1,000 yards through the air. While he's unlikely to have a 1,000-yard receiving season, he could near 800 receiving yards this season. While he will not be contending for an MVP award with the talent that he shares the field with on the Chargers roster, this could be the year that Ekeler establishes himself as one of the best backs in the NFL. Fantasy football upside. The final facet of football that Ekeler is set to dominate this year is fantasy football. This season, Ekeler is generally regarded as the third or fourth top running back to draft this year in PPR leagues. PPR leagues are fantasy football leagues in which the players get a point for each reception they get, while in the standard scoring, players do not get rewarded points for receptions. Depending on where you pick your league's fantasy draft, Ekeler could be a perfect first-round pick for you. If your pick is near the end of the first round, it's unlikely that he will slip to you. However, if you pick anywhere from the 3rd to 6th or 7th overall, Ekeler would be an incredible pick. He sets himself apart from almost every other running back in the league with the amount of attention he receives in the passing game. With Ekeler being targeted multiple times a game, he quickly racks up points through receptions and receiving yards. This is a nice cherry on top of the points that he gets you through his rushing yards and touchdowns. Backs like Ekeler are few and far between in fantasy football. He is a player that can win you games or even a league. Finally, Ekeler is one of the few elite dual-threat backs that does not have a concerning injury history as well. As any fantasy football player knows, injuries can absolutely tank a season, especially when it's your first-round pick getting hurt. If you get the chance to add Ekeler to your fantasy football team this year, do not hesitate to pull the trigger. He's shaping up to have another great season and is ready to prove himself as a top 5 back in the NFL. And with that, we end today's video. What are your thoughts on Austin Ekeler? Do you consider him as one of the top backs in the league right now? What do you think we can expect from him going into the new season? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, be sure to like this video if you're a fan of Austin Ekeler, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.